Battlefield 2042's next major update is fast approaching. Star Citizen announced some cool new features in its next update, Microsoft is downplaying Call of Duty's importance, and much more on This Week in Gaming. Update 1.2 for Battlefield 2042 added a redesigned kaleidoscope map, visual improvements for the specialist, a new stats page, and more balance changes. DICE confirmed that this was the final update for Season 1 and that we should expect Update 2.0 to launch later this month. Following the launch of Update 2.0, the second season of content will go live. During a developer interview hosted on the Battlefield Twitch channel, the lead level designer at DICE stated that just a single map will launch in Season 2. On the bright side though, he also shared that player feedback has been taken on board and that this new map is full of cover. And while it will support 128 player servers, it seems like it's probably going to work better with 64 player lobbies. The lead gameplay designer Florian confirmed on stream that the devs are looking into addressing the game's most significant issues. These include the mouse input delay on PC, adding a server browser for all-out warfare, and porting more Portal content to the base game as well. Star Citizen's developers revealed new details about the upcoming Alpha 3.18 update. This update is going live for closed testing hopefully in the near future. It's expected to remain in testing for at least 3 months since it adds some major technical features that will need to be extensively bug tested. However, this week CIG announced some additional tentative new content coming with the update. This is all subject to change and delays, but it sounds like promising stuff. A new derelict Star Runner settlement is being added to Daymar and may include some unique puzzles, missions, and/or rewards. New rivers are being added to Microtech and Hurston. Sand cave variants will flesh out existing rocky caves scattered across Stanton. Prison gameplay is getting expanded with new sandbox experiences to make getting locked up a bit more interesting. Orison will be getting new missions that will take place on the platforms created for the Siege of Orison, which is pretty cool so that even when the event isn't active, you'll still be able to go there on different FPS-focused missions or delivery missions, who knows. New dynamic space missions are being added that players will automatically encounter. The Aegis Reclaimer is finally getting its first tier of salvaging capabilities with its remote salvage turrets. Of course, salvage is going to be one of the big major additions with 3.18 that will let you strip crash ships for materials and also repair ships. That's all part of the cargo refractor, which is the headline feature for 3.18. An initial implementation of persistent entity streaming is also being added. This is a particularly significant addition since it allows for dynamic objects like loot, ships, bodies, and more to stay around in the game world rather than immediately despawning after a short time. Again, 3.18 is probably going to require a lot of testing before it reaches live servers, and everything we just mentioned is subject to change, but it's exciting nonetheless. Tech giant Microsoft seems to be downplaying its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Rival Sony challenged the acquisition by calling the Call of Duty brand an essential AAA game for players to own. Historically, COD is the only video game IP to break into the top 10 across all entertainment segments like movies, shows, and music. In other words, when a new Call of Duty game launches, it does comparable sales figures to the likes of Star Wars and other major entertainment properties. According to Sony, whoever owns Call of Duty controls the player's console choice because of how popular the franchise is. However, Microsoft downplayed all that by stating that there's nothing about the video game developed and published by Activision that makes them must-haves. Basically, Sony seems to be alleging that owning such a massive brand like Call of Duty will stifle competition with Xbox, since Microsoft will dictate what platforms get the games, how they get them, pricing, and other factors. It's clear that Microsoft understands the significance of the Call of Duty brand, and it's in their best interest to downplay the situation so that the deal goes through. They have stated previously that COD will remain on both consoles for the immediate future. How long that deal lasts, though, is anybody's guess. The deal was approved by Activision and Microsoft earlier this year, but is still undergoing investigation by regulatory groups around the world before being finalized. In other Microsoft news, the company is starting to test its higher price family sharing Game Pass plan. This new plan allows for up to 5 people to access the same subscription. It's been rumored for a while, but is finally being rolled out for Xbox insiders in Colombia and Ireland. Xbox has not disclosed the price for this new family plan, but fans speculate that it'll be around $30. That'll give players access to the ultimate Game Pass benefits, including EA Play and Xbox Cloud streaming. No timeline or rollout has been shared yet, but they stated that they'd share more details later this year. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is an upcoming action-adventure game by Ubisoft. It was first teased in 2018 and then formally announced in 2017. After years of silence, there's finally some good news. Sarah Arellano, formerly of Blizzard, announced on Twitter that she had joined the project as the lead writer. Arellano is best known for her work on World of Warcraft and Saints Row. Beyond Good and Evil 2 hopes to build on the open world and scope offered by the first game, along with a rich and engaging storyline. Hopefully with a new lead writer, things can get moving again. The largest Chinese tech company and gaming giant Tencent is trying to increase its 5% stake in Ubisoft. Having acquired these shares in 2018, the company is apparently attempting to acquire an additional 16%. Their goal is to become the single largest shareholder in the publisher. Ubisoft is valued at $5.3 billion and owns some of gaming's most significant IPs like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Just Dance, and Tom Clancy. However, the controlling family of Ubisoft have shown how much that they want to retain control in the past, so Tencent's ambitious purchase isn't necessarily a done deal. Overwatch 2's launch is 2 months away. It's been available in a series of betas over the past few months, but the game's commercial leader announced on Twitter that there wouldn't be another beta before launch. Instead, the devs will focus on implementing community feedback from the previous alpha and betas. Numerous balance changes were made to the game's heroes throughout the beta period, so fans are hopeful that things will be improved and refined even more for the launch. Overwatch 2 will completely replace the first game upon release. It'll be free to play and won't include loot boxes. Instead, it'll allow players to purchase cosmetics directly and introduce a new battle pass. More specifics will be shared closer to launch, according to Blizzard. The developers of the co-op survival game Dead by Daylight unveiled a new first-person building and raiding game called Meet Your Maker. Players must build and raid different fortified outposts in a futuristic wasteland. Building your outpost can be done solo or in teams of 2. Raiding other players' outposts will reward you with unique items to use on your outpost. The game's creative director assured players that it is a profoundly social game similar to Rust. Meet Your Maker is expected to launch sometime in 2023, but the closed playtest will launch on August 23rd. Before we move on to the last story today, I just wanted to remind you guys that you can subscribe, turn on notifications, and/or become a channel member if you want to help support what we do here. One of Apex Legends' best quality of life features is its self-revive mechanic built into the gold knockdown shield item. It's so popular that most Battle Royale titles now feature it in some way or another. After changes to the rank mode in Season 13, a large portion of the player base has called out this revive mechanic as being overpowered since the new ranking system favors outliving as many players as possible. This led to one of Respawn's game designers to tweet that they had heard the feedback loud and clear. And while a nerf was expected in Season 14, Respawn has removed the self-revive mechanic from ranked play entirely. Instead, the gold knockdown shield will grant players more health and armor if they are brought back by a teammate. Season 14 is launching on August 9th and will introduce a new hero called Vantage along with Kings Canyon map changes. And that wraps it up for this week in gaming. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.